Hello everyone, I'm out here at the Glore Park just outside of Kilchima, and I'm going to be shooting with my E-M5 Mark II and a few of my Olympus lenses today. I'm going to be shooting with the 45 f1.8, which I'm filming this on, and I gotta say I love this lens. I know I haven't done a full review of it yet because I'm still testing it out, but so far I'm loving it. And I'm going to be shooting with the 30mm macro as well. It is incredibly cold. It's 0 degrees Celsius. I've lost my gloves. I'm going to take you around this lovely little river here, take some photos. I think we're going to start with the 30mm macro before all the frost melts so I can get some of them nice frost shapes. And yeah, hope you all enjoy. Okay, I'm going to put the tripod away while I can still feel my fingers, set up the GoPro, and let's get taking some photos. Absolutely gorgeous weather. Look at that sky. I don't know if you can see the sky. I'll bend back a bit. It's not a cloud to be seen. The only downside is that means it's cold. I've just accepted that my knees are going to get a bit wet and frosty. A bit darker here though, so I'll that's my ISO at. That might be why we'll try like ISO 400. Some details. Oh, it's cold. So I'm just looking here for any like particularly frosty leaves. Like that there. And I quite like here with the sun on this one. I realize that's probably not super engaging, but this lens also is a nice, sharp 30mm prime lens. So let's get a shot. That will focus on the middle because it's about the middle into the scene. Stop down a bit. There we go. Absolutely glorious. Kind of like them shadows there. That's why I love the E-M5 having the tilty screen. Something like that. And we have more beautifully frosty leaves. Stabilization in this body is fantastic, but okay, this could be dodgy. Just gonna waddle like a penguin and hope for the best. There we go, made it safe. So this used to be a fully functional grain mill, and then it got a bit dilapidated, and then someone bought it, turned it into a little heritage centre. And they do like art installations and stuff there very occasionally. And then in the summer when it gets really hot, because we've had a few heat waves in the summers gone by, all the school kids will come down here and they'll take turns jumping into the river, and they'll like leave their bags here, and it's just such a great little area. And you know, I'm trying to go on a few more walks because my smartwatch is telling me my heart rate's too high when I'm just sat down doing nothing. So that's probably not super great. I'm probably missing a lot of shots because I'm just rambling about all this. That's really nice with the like wet branches. That'd be one for the 45mm later, I'd say. Just to get that bit of extra reach. So I have my tripod with me today. For two reasons. One was to film the intro bit, which I hope worked out all right because I filmed on this, and I'll get into that in a bit as well. And the second is I want to test the, I don't know if it's a myth necessarily, but the notion or the idea that a UV filter will taint your image somehow. People often say, why would you put a $10 piece of glass in front of a, you know, several $100 lens? That's the kind of thing that's said quite a lot. So I got myself a dirt cheap UV filter. Came in like a pack of other filters from, it might have been Newer, it might have been Hoya, I'm not too sure. And my plan is to take 2 images without the camera moving at all, one with the UV filter on, one with it off, and then use the subtraction blending method in Photoshop to take similarities away. So an issue with macro photography is, you know, when you shoot with a super long lens, you want to have a fast shutter because any movement at this end is amplified tenfold that end. That's kind of true as well when you're up hyper close to something. So if all goes to plan with my schedule, the video where I review this lens will upload on the 11th. This will upload then on the 18th, even though today it is the 8th. I'm really trying to get a backlog of YouTube videos. Not for any particular reason, I just think, sure, isn't that what the professionals do? This is also something I've noticed with this lens in general as well. It doesn't quite know when you want to be super close to a subject. Those drops are nice, but I'm not going too close. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, my schedule. So typically how I'm thinking of doing it is I review the lens, and then a video, either the next one after that or the one, like 2 videos after it, will be a point of view thing. I'm just loving all this. We've got like these dead ferns. I'm thinking, yeah, my knees are going to be frozen. I really like the kind of depth of field you get. So we're just absolutely blessed with birds here. And this river is really nice for doing long exposures. At my camera club, I had to give a presentation on long exposures, and I came here and I shot images at different exposure times, so they could see like the difference between, you know, 1/200th of a second and a minute, and everything in between. This bit of tape on my EM5, provided you're still filming. So this bit of tape on my EM5 is just, I bought this in like either heavily used or well used condition off MPV. And the only issue was it was missing that silicone piece. So I've just put that there, and that gives a tiny bit more grip than the plastic. I used to have a fully like 3D printed thumb thing, but I've since found this grip by, I'm not sure who designed it. I'll put a link in the description. Although I don't think the amount of people with a Olympus E-M5 Mark II and a 3D printer that watch my videos, I don't think that Venn diagram's got much overlap. So, like, I absolutely love auto ISO and just making everything as simple to use on the camera as I'd like to. Some incredible crunchy frost there. But yeah, I typically shoot with my settings set so that everything is super easy, because I want to focus on the craft side of photography when I'm not taking pictures, not the technical side. Can I shoot in manual mode? Yeah, of course. Can I set my focus points where I want them to? Yeah, E-M5 Mark II makes it super easy with the D-pad and the touchscreen. But more often than not, the camera knows exactly what I want it to do. So in my review of this lens, I said that macro photography, to me, is very similar to drone photography, in that the unusual perspective you get from both types is to a lot of people what makes it interesting. And you can take very nice pictures of things, but it's quite difficult, I think, to take a picture of a scene, more so with macro than with the drone. Whether that's because I've had the drone for a few more years longer than a macro lens, I don't know. Not that there's anything wrong with just taking a close-up image or something, or like a picture with your drone straight down, whatever. I think I mean in more in terms of if you showed someone who's not a photographer an image by that, they're like, oh, you got very close up to that, or oh wow, it's great to see that from high up. I think I called it a gimmick in my macro lens review, and I definitely didn't mean it in a bad way. I quite like just a simple shot of the bench like that. Yeah, I really like that. I think if I darken the edges a bit, not necessarily with like a heavy vignette, but just a little bit of something, that'll pop. Oh, it's just lovely. Look at the sky. There's like a hint of pink to the clouds. And being able to hear the river a bit quieter over here than it was over there is just really nice and pleasant. I was here the other day with the 45mm, so little sneak peek for the 45mm review. I love that lens. I think that's my favorite lens I've ever owned, and from f2.8 downwards, upwards, however you want to talk about your aperture, it's super sharp. Even at f1.8, it's nice and sharp. It looks really nice, particularly on my EM5, which you know, it's not super important, but it, you know, it's definitely worth something, right? And I really like the frame of view you get with it. Compression wise, it's 45mm, but you get the frame of view as a 90mm, and it's just really nice for street photography and kind of creating more of like an intimate feel. So yesterday I was out in Galway shooting with the 45mm f1.8, but I was also shooting with the 20mm f1.7, which I actually bought just for doing pieces of camera inside, because it's like wide enough that I can fit in the frame, but it opens up fast enough that I kind of like get better performance in low light. Oh, I really like shooting with them. I think I definitely prefer the 45mm f1.8 just for its ability to give you that super shallow depth of field. The 20mm f1.7 though I also quite like for street photography, because it's like, to me it's about what the eye sees, but you get a little bit more. That's just nice. Yeah, long story short, that 45mm is absolutely lovely and I love it, and it's super, like, I have the full review coming probably February, probably sometime around February. But I love that lens so much. It's what I filmed the intro with. Yeah. Okay. Now what? Now where to? There's the bench at the top there. I'll head round. Oh wow, I have like condensation in my beard from where my breath is. Fun times. I did bring the drone just to get a B-roll, so we'll take the drone up as well. I might get a few pictures with the drone, who knows. 11 satellites, that should be absolutely fine. And let's get some B-roll. Just gotta hold down and wait it out. Do not grab it and then try and do that, you'll have a bad time. So GoPro's about to die because it's cold. I'm gonna swap the batteries and I'm gonna swap over to the 45mm on my Olympus just to take a few shots, and then when I film the piece to camera for that UV filter video, everything's grand. You might be wondering why I'm using my electronic shutter on the E-M5 Mark II. And that's just if I'm out in public taking pictures, even if it's not of people and it's just of architecture, I find that I don't feel more I feel much more comfortable if I'm using a silent shutter. Yeah. Which is going to be a bit annoying when I go out to shoot film, because that's something I also want to do a bit more of this year. I got some rolls of black and white film for my Zenith camera. But yeah, I got some rolls of film, and my plan is to actually do some more like photo vlogs like this, but with film. The only problem is then it's going to take a while for them to get released, because I'll have to get everything developed. Because I definitely don't have the gear for doing that at home, and I feel like that's just a rabbit hole that's too deep for me to go into. So it's a lovely little walk here. I've always known it as the Galore Park. Google Maps says it's called the, is it Liam Fitzgerald, something like that. But I was here when it opened, when I was a little kid, and they had a barbecue thing going in there. Because it's rural Ireland, the local priest was down to bless the park. It's just a lovely little area that has kind of been forgotten recently. Like, yeah, you still have people come and like walk their dogs around it, but I don't know. And you see stuff like this where, well, you can't actually see it because of the frost, but people have like graffitied all over this. And I know kids be kids, but I'm not a fan of it myself. It's such a lovely area, and I don't like it being tainted. I'm walking back up along here just because I've got the 45mm on now, and I'll record my bits here as well. I don't see me using this as much as the macro lens. Don't know why I keep putting the screen away. Just something like that, just head on. I'll struck down a bit. It's just simple. I know I could spend probably like 10 minutes there with the tripod, getting the angles just right, making sure everything's dead center, and like head on. That's not my style of photography. I just like to have the camera in the hand as much as possible. That's why I 3D printed this grip for the E-M5ii. I'm trying to get a shot of the mill. I think someone lives in it, so I don't want to just like take a picture of someone's house. Maybe this. Got that, and then get that before the car goes past. So we have this, which is interesting, but I don't know if it's a photo. I picked up this jacket a while ago, just cause, I don't know why, but every photographer that goes to Iceland to take pictures gets a jacket that's this, in either this orange color, red, or yellow. So I talked about my settings that I use on all my cameras a while ago. So auto ISO, aperture priority mode. I always have the white balance set to just a constant value as well, because if you're taking raw files, that doesn't matter. But if you're taking a video, then you don't want to be in auto white balance because it will change over time, and that's a real pain to fix with video. I've not had to do it for any of my stuff, but back when I studied in college, it's quite nice. I'll crop out the tree or something. But back when I was in college, for my undergrad, I studied music production, and we had a video editing course, and we were given some very badly recorded footage and had to go fix it. So this is just a lovely little spot now. Now, the question is, would I be able to step over this, because you can get to another bit of the river that way? The answer is you can, but I don't recommend it. But yeah, I find a lot of people in the photography community are very like accepting and helpful for new people. But then those opinions kind of get lost under the sea of your kit lens is trash, why are you shooting in auto mode? You should understand the exposure triangle before anything. It's like a goalpost net or something. I definitely don't think it's a fishing thing. We're fairly limited here in what like people are allowed to fish for. Oh, but look at them fields. See, I should have left the 30mm on, but like photography nowadays is you have the craft and you have the technical aspect, and I mean it is primarily about the craft, isn't it? Like if you ask any photographer what's their favorite part of taking photos, they're not going to tell you setting the white balance. They're not going to tell you making sure you expose to the right correctly by 1/3 of a stop. And yeah, you do need to know how to do all that stuff. Like I can shoot in manual mode, I can choose what I'm going to focus, I can set my white balance. But it should be about fun, it should be about going out and taking photos. Unless you're like a wedding photographer, in which case then it's making sure you have everything backed up. So I've taken a lot of photos. I've definitely rambled a lot. I've gone through nearly 2 GoPro batteries. So this can be fun for editing, Eli. But I'm going to head back now towards the start of this walk and film a few bits there. See, that's interesting, but is it a photograph? So the roads aren't actually too bad. Normally these types of roads are pretty bad here when it's frosty because not many people come down them. We call these boherines, which is Irish for tiny little road. Boher meaning road, and een is like a suffix that just means like tiny and cute. I'd imagine it's kind of comparable to hito in Spanish. And then if you break the words down further, boher is interesting because while it's the word for road, it just means cow path. So this is a tiny cute cow path. Definitely like that. More of like a high contrast edit. That lone tree is cool as well. Definitely would have a longer lens if I'm planning on taking a picture of that. Yeah. But I'm really enjoying prime lenses recently. I remember when I started out learning photography just on YouTube and like that kind of thing. I'd hear people talking about prime lenses and why they love them so much. And I was like, yeah, but what's the point in shooting with a 50mm f1.8 if you're not going to shoot it at like that aperture because your 18 to 55 has that focal length in it. And I said it in my review of the, well, not really a review, I said it in my video on the cheapest microfourthirds system, that eliminating aspects or giving yourself confines, for me anyway, it will breed creativity. And eliminating the need to zoom in and out really makes me think more about my composition and just makes me slow down a bit as a photographer, which is what everyone says about prime lenses. And I was like, yeah, but you could just tape your lens closed. And no, it's so much more fun. Like I have in my bag, I have my Lumix 12-60 with me. And I can put that on and I can get really nice shots with that lens. I love that lens. I did a review on it about a year ago, but it wasn't a good review, so I am gonna remake that review more with like my modern kind of method and do a few photo vlogs with it as well. Oh, this could be like very bad. I am just going to walk very carefully because if I fall forwards I'll crush my camera, and if I fall backwards I'll crush my lenses. Oh, that's so bad. Okay, I know I was rambling a bit about prime lenses there, but I think I'm done with this photo vlog, or else it's going to be like an hour long, and while that would do wonders for my watch time and help me get monetized, I don't want to just do that for the sake of it. If I make an hour-long video, it has to have a purpose for being an hour long. So yeah, I'm gonna call it a thing there. Thanks so much for watching. I haven't edited any of these images, but if you like the edits I've done, then I'll have my presets available at some point. I'm looking into hosting services and all that kind of stuff for that. And if you like the types of image I take, you can find me on Instagram at @elifarnhill_photos. So I'll put my tag on the screen and a link down below. And also, what else? Yeah, if you like this kind of content, subscribe, please. I'm guessing if you've made it to the end of this video, you probably are already subscribed. Quite a high percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed when you look at the analytics. But if you're new here, you know, maybe stick around. This is going to be released, what did I say, the 18th? So the next video, from your point of view, I think might be either a video on Darktable as a Lightroom alternative, or a review of either the 45mm or the 20mm. Not sure yet. We'll see how that goes. I've got a few weeks to do that. So thanks for watching.